Welcome to Ep.2 of After Duty Hours. I just want to state that this podcast has no affiliation with Ramstein Air Force Base, U.S. military branch, or the U.S. government. I'm your host, Renee Flores Jr., and I have a very special guest with me today. It is a president. I'm not talking Joe Biden. I'm talking about the president of KMC First Four, Damoshiay Reed. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm excited to be here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you.
Yeah.
Did I say your name right, by the way?
Damoshiay.
Damoshiay.
Yeah.
Sorry if I
Damoshiay.
messed that up. That's probably why I'm not a teacher. I don't do roll call. I think you told me a little story of that's kind of how you got your nickname. What are some of the nicknames you have?
So I would say I got the nickname in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people struggled with saying my name.
Yeah.
Because it's just so unique. Shout out to my dad for that one.
Yeah.
But the shortened version is Damo. So it's
Damo?
just the first four letters, yeah. Is what I usually go by. So
Okay, cool. So now that I have you here, man, and you kind of seen how things are being ran, and you kind of see behind the scenes now of what it actually looks like to be on the podcast. What do you think so far?
Honestly, when you came up to me and pitched it to me, I was a bit skeptical, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Fully transparent. But I had faith that it was going to be like pretty pristine. So like from the little test runs that you had to the pilot episode, like it's been pretty spot on. And I'm excited for what it's doing, not only for the community, but also for yourself as well.
Yeah.
I know you're growing at the same time while doing this. So
Yeah. Well, me and my team, thank you, man. Like, we've put in a lot of our own hours into this, even weekends. So it was nice to kind of learn more about, podcasting and what kind of works go into it. It's pretty challenging stuff, but I mean, I feel like anybody, if you set your mind to it, you can definitely achieve it. But now that, we got your name, your nickname, we want to know more about Damo. So kind of like talk to us about who Damo is today.
So today, I would say, I'm feeling a little happy. It's a little cloudy outside. No, I'm just joking. Me today, I would say I've grown a lot since the beginning of my career. So born and raised, I'm from Ohio, a big OHIO.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Ohioans out there.
Yeah. Shout out Ohio.
Yeah. Love Texas though. I'll just put that out there. But
yeah, he loves Texas.
A little disclaimer.
H-Town though, for real.
Oh yeah, 110%.
Yeah, I like this guy already.
But coming fresh out of high school and going into this lifestyle, I would say is just it was hard for me just because I was 18, freshly 18, and I was starting life on my own. My mom kind of like pushed me out. She didn't want me to stay in the city like longer than a year, so I did her one better and left about 2 months after graduation. So after that, I had a lot of bumps living in Texas, and it was pretty hard.
Wait, were you living in Texas before you went to basic or
no? So after training and everything like that, I was living in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was my first, and it's pretty difficult. Kind of like adjusting. I didn't know anybody. The only person I had was like my best friend and then my coworkers mostly, but my best friend and me, like we were kind of like sticking it through together. I didn't really have family out there or anything like that. So it was just really difficult adjusting. I did some good things, I would say, but then I also did some bad things, things that I've grown a lot from. So just that growth and everything I went through, it's really changed me as a person today. And if I wouldn't have gone through those things, I wouldn't be the man that I am today.
Yeah. Okay, so you talked about, you were in Texas for the first time. How at 19, you said? 18. 18?
Yeah. 18.
So how old are you now?
I'm 24.
24?
Yeah.
So 5 years later, here you are today. Can you kind of like maybe talk us through kind of how you got here specifically and kind of the challenges that you went through and some maybe lessons that you've learned that kind of
like here in Germany or just like 24 me.
I would say, because I know that you had a tour in Korea.
Yeah.
So maybe talk about, how this is your third base, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your first base, second base, third base, kind of like the people you've met, things that you've kind of gone through in that transition, because now you're overseas. I don't know if that's any different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
I would say, Korea was Korea was kind of like my test in a way.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to handle everything that you went through? Because in Texas, I dealt with a lot of mental health stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of where it was real to me, just because, like, growing up in my household, it was kind of like mental health wasn't really a priority. It was more so just like, hey, just brush it off. And
Yeah.
just
How many
move
people
on.
were in your household?
So it was myself, my little sister, my mother, and my uncle.
Okay.
So about 4 people, and I was the man of the house.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of weight on my shoulders.
Yeah, because you had to pick it up. You had to
100%.
grow up fast.
Yeah, exactly. So just with that, it just wasn't a priority. But then, I started to get help a little bit more towards the end of me being in Texas. I sought therapy. I got diagnosed. I was like on and off antidepressants, and it really was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of change. But then, I go to Korea, and I'm kind of like more so proving myself when I don't need to, just based off everything that I went through. So I had a great team behind me. A lot of good mentors that I met while I was there.
Yeah.
Shout out to them 110%. But it was a really big test for me. So I got off the antidepressants. I was still seeking therapy just because I felt like I needed to still take care of myself.
Yeah.
I dealt with depression, anxiety, and it was a lot. I had a really good therapist, and she helped me through a lot. And, I got to work in medical, so I had met a lot of great doctors and got a lot of recommendations. That's how I actually got off of antidepressants. They were recommending like vitamins. So
Yeah.
vitamins are alternative, and there's multiple different like foods that you can eat in order to boost your mood.
Okay.
Especially living over here in Germany too. I still take some to this day. So it's just getting on that really helped me a lot. It helped me understand myself, and then also look out for others as well.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of got involved with the Airmen's Council over there. And, just speaking to different airmen around the base, it's really eye-opening.
Were you in like a position in that other Airmen's Council?
Yeah, so I was the vice president over there.
Okay.
It was my first time even holding an executive position, so
Okay.
it was very new. It was very different. Obviously, I have my own critiques where I feel like I could have been a lot better in the position.
Yeah.
But I just took what I learned from there and applied it when I got here. So when I got here, I kind of more so did the same thing that I did when I went to Korea, and kind of just kept my head low and just focused on my work mostly, and kind of like perfecting that. And then mostly I would say I networked a lot, more than what I did in Korea. Just because of where I was working. My job is like very customer service based, so I got a chance to talk to like a lot of different people, working a lot of different jobs in a lot of different areas. So I did that, and over time, people noticed, and I got a lot of mentors over here, and they're like, hey, you should get involved with the First Four. Like they could really use you. And they told me that, and I found out the previous council, shout out to them, and my mentors.
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
I got in contact with them, and they pretty much, I would say, kind of like brought me in a little bit closer.
Yeah.
And I offered up my experience as a vice president to them towards the end of their term, and then I ended up getting voted in, and here I am. This is the First Four president.
So like whenever you, like even back on your first base day, you said you kind of did this Airman Council and stuff like that. Like when you were going through, that mental the mental problems that you said you were going through, was getting recommended and having your mentors recommend, kind of like even being in this leading opportunity, did that somewhat also help like deal with that situation that you were dealing with?
What do you mean exactly?
Like you said, like you were going through a lot of things when you were 19 or 18, whenever you were living in Texas. I'm not really sure where your first duty station was.
So it went Texas, Korea, and Germany.
Okay, so like you said, you were dealing with that stuff, you know, back then when you were in antidepressants. You said you got off before you went to Korea?
No, so I got off when I was in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were still in kind of like those, you were still vice president going through stuff like that as well?
Yes. Yes, I would say. Yeah.
Would you say like it was that helping or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it kind of like showed me like how to have a balance.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're in these positions, and this is just like kind of like free game to anybody that's watching, when you're in these positions, you have to learn how to have a balance when it comes to work and
your personal
life and doing extracurriculars. Like, you have to have a balance, or else you're kind of just going to be all over the place. And for me, I felt like in Korea I was a little bit all over the place. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on, and I just didn't really focus on a balance. It's more so kind of like just do it, get out the way. And then also I felt like being in a VP position, like I wasn't really like doing much. I wasn't trying to like step on any toes or anything like that. I was more so observing and then just giving my little onesie twosies here and there. So it was a balance was key.
Yeah,
really.
I only mention it because I think it's important for anybody listening. Like, I mean, we all go through, you know, tough times, and you know, growing up can be tough sometimes because we're learning, and in learning we're making mistakes. And, you know, it doesn't feel too good to kind of fail or make mistakes at some times, and you know, some people need help dealing with that type of stuff. So I think it's great that you're kind of open to let people know that you've been through this and you've gotten through it with help and mentorship. So I feel like anybody listening right now, like if you're going through something, I think it's very important. Like it's okay to voice yourself, because you shouldn't bottle it in. There are people that want to help. Don't be ashamed, making it feel like you're different from everybody. Everybody goes through something like that. I've went through sadness. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, you know, was paycheck to paycheck, you know, went to his job 2:30 p.m., got off at like 10:30 p.m., never saw the sun. I used to go home, play games until like 3 a.m., wake up just before work, and then I just never did anything. And I think it's important when you reach out for help, you know, people, what you expect from people is different than what you're actually thinking. You know, people are going to help, and I have mentors now, and that's why I vouch for mentors, because you've mentioned it now, so that all the more means, you know, it works. And you know, there might be different ways of, you know, helping, but I think it's good that you shared that, man. Like, I think it's very important for the listeners too, and that's what this podcast is about. Just being beneficial to your ear and applying things to your life that you can take from this podcast. So I appreciate you for opening up like that. Oh, yeah. I do want to ask. You told me a little bit about, you know, acting. I know you have a passion for that. Not only are you a leader, but you want to act. So. Yes. Do you try out for Disney or?
So
you gotta have the triple threat. Can you sing?
Yes, I can.
Okay, but hey, play the music.
But
no, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. It's gonna be the after duty hours where you can hear that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
I would say entertainment was kind of like my first love. Even like growing up, I was dramatic.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I'm kind of dramatic. So I'm just being honest, but. It was my mom, really. She kind of like, my mom always like pushes me when it comes to certain stuff. So I was like, let's see, I was like maybe 13 at the time. She had told me about this talent agency that was doing a kind of like a test run or audition convention about an hour away from where we lived. And she asked me, she was like, hey, do you want to try out for this? I'm like, yeah, of course. So we ended up signing up, and we got our ticket or whatever, and then we drove up there. And
where to?
It was like, where exactly?
Yeah, like where was the area? Was it just like, was it like top secret? Like where you?
No, it was Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we drove.
Oh, it was nearby.
Cleveland. Yeah, so about an hour away. So we're up in Cleveland, and we're like in this like convention center area. It's a whole bunch of kids. A whole bunch of kids. And I'm there, and pretty much they had a line. They gave us a script, and we would go in front of a camera, and we would go off the script, do our little thing. They said just read the script. Yeah, plain and simple, just read the script. But in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, okay, well,
you gotta act out.
Yeah,
you gotta show them.
I gotta show them, like, I got a little,
show them who Damo is.
Yeah, a little something. So read the script, and then I actually got a chance to meet one of the characters from Zoe 101. He played not Chase, but Logan. Yeah, he was like the bad
guy.
Yeah, he was the bad boy. So I got a chance to meet him at a young age. That was when like Zoe 101 was like popping at the time still.
I mean, those Halloween episodes were gas.
Oh yeah, 110%. So ended up meeting him, did the audition, and then we headed back. And we just waited. Weeks go by, and get a letter in the mail saying like, you made it.
Oh snap!
You're going to Disney World, and you're gonna
oh snap! This guy won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it would just said a lot in the letter, just saying like, oh, you're going to Disney World, and you're gonna do all this. There's multiple other applicants that made it, so on and so forth, and then here's the fee, X, Y, and Z. And I told my mom. I screamed out my door saying like, I made it. And I'm on the phone with my mom. She's like, oh, you're so happy, And my mom, she ended up calling my aunt. Now my aunt does like a lot of research on certain things, and so basically they ended up finding out that that agency was scamming.
What?
So here I am, heartbroken. I was so hurt.
Why would they do that though?
I have no idea.
Dang, all those kids must have made it, I guess. So wait, the fee, did you have to pay it, or did you pay it already?
No.
Oh, so they didn't really scam you.
So we paid for like a ticket to audition. That's about it.
Oh, that's
so that happened. I was just like heartbroken. I was still involved with school and stuff like that, like doing choir and like musical. But other than that, like as far as like being in front of a screen and actually like being on a cast and stuff like that, I'd never got that experience. So missed out on that. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, here I am now.
That sucks, man. Seriously, I'm sorry that happened to you. But let's go ahead and get into our next segment. So we're gonna talk about you being the president of the First Four. We're just gonna kind of go through this pretty quick. I just want to kind of ask, why are you in this position? Like, did you want to be in this position? Obviously, I mean, you wanted to be in this position, but we just want to know why.
So the reason why is mostly because I care about people. And when I say like people, I mean like people. Like it doesn't matter what you are, what branch you are, or anything like that. I care about people.
You just want to help.
Yeah. So I was really in. What's crazy is I was in real deep thought when they had asked me to go for the position. Just because I mean you got to have a why behind everything that you do. That's what I tell all my people. Like you got to have a why. You shouldn't do things aimlessly. So my why was really just wanting to take care of people, take care of the community, and just kind of like just be there for people, honestly, and show that we have a voice, no matter how many stripes you have on your chest. It doesn't matter. So with the things that I went through, that plays a very, very big factor, just because I was alone. given I did have my best friend, but even then, like, I didn't have my family or anything like that. It was just kind of like me handling things on my own. So I don't want anybody to ever go through the things that I went through alone. Like, you're always going to have somebody there. So that's why I always take the time to, like, talk to people. If they want to talk, you got an idea, you got an issue, it doesn't matter. Like, we'll address it. We will address it as a council, but then also, like, I know what people to get in contact with when it comes to addressing certain things. So that's really my why, honestly.
Yeah, that's good. So you are in a leading position, and I know it's not all easy. So what are some of the challenges you've faced so far being in the KMC First Four?
So I would say the challenges is really so I would say just kind of like understanding, like, hey, like, you're gonna mess up, and being okay with messing up. And I would say I kind of just like just kind of like take it, because before I beat myself up so much, where it's like
a perfectionist.
It was somewhat like a perfectionist. So I would beat myself up so much, and I would not be satisfied with what I was doing. But it's like, hey, like you're growing. Rather than seeing it as a negative, see it as a positive, because you're getting in these situations, you're dealing with these people, and you're handling any type of issue that's coming your way, and you're learning how to address it. So then when you get into these other positions, you'll know how to handle it perfectly. So it's all just a part of learning. Truly,
is delegation kind of tough to do?
Delegation is tough, just because I'm someone that likes to do it my way, and my way only. But it's like, I can't be like that.
It's kind of hard to do it like that anyway. And that's some of the things we've learned as presidents. Previous experience of a president for a private org I was with, it was hard to delegate, because it was either hard to trust people, or I wanted it my way, and so I could totally relate to that. And I think it would even be kind of tough to delegate to people you don't even know,
because
it's like
110%.
So it's like a KMC First Four has like 150 members, and if a member you don't know,
still growing,
it's still growing too. I think whenever a stranger comes up to you and they're in the First Four and they kind of introduce themselves, they want to, take on this thing. So you delegate to them. It's kind of, hopefully they pull through, And I think that would probably be a tough challenge, is that you're going to have a bunch of people, in the KMC First Four, come to you and try to, seek out those leading opportunities. Not saying it's bad to hand those out. You're supposed to.
And that's another thing I kind of had to realize, is like, it's not just you. It's a whole council. It's a whole team. It's people that are actually seeking to grow in these positions, and you can't really hold them back. I kind of feel like a lot of people don't realize that soon enough. When they're put in these leadership opportunities. Like, these positions are meant for growth. So you have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to work with others. You have to learn how to communicate well. So those are like the biggest things that I would focus on if you are looking to seek a leadership position in any type of role. Just because that's the only way you're going to flourish. And my term isn't forever, so I hope there's some future presidents watching out there to take my position and honestly do it better. That's all I want for anybody.
Lay the path, for them. 100%. That's
Yes.
always the goal of every private org, is you want it to keep improving. So we talked learn how to delegate. What are 4 more quick pieces of advice you would give to the next future president of KMC First Four?
Stay patient is one.
Stay patient.
Yes, stay patient. Take the information that you get, think it through, reflect.
Patient with people and
all of it.
And situations.
All of it.
Okay,
everything.
Of it.
Stay patient with everything. Don't immediately make a decision. Like, think it through. If you have an issue, hear people's opinions and how they feel, and take all that into consideration, and then apply your answer. So patience is one. Communicating, for sure. You got to communicate. A lot of people don't know how to communicate. Learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Because communication is key. You're dealing with a lot of different personalities. Like this person may want to communicate this way, but then this person wants to communicate a different way.
You have to learn about people. You got to understand that people are different, and the way you talk to them or address them is going to be different. So you have to be adaptive.
Exactly.
So
exactly. That's how you have a smoother team. It's easier to work with people that you kind of like get to know, rather than just like coming in and just executing. Because you can't just come in and execute. Like, you got to know your people a little bit more. So then
you have to tend to it.
Yeah, 110%. You got to, when you get to know your people, you execute flawlessly.
Yeah.
So I really, really tried my best to get to know people when it comes to being in these positions. So staying patient and communicating are like kind of like my top two when it comes to that.
Okay. That's good, man. Like, I really appreciate you, and I'm pretty sure the listeners are going to appreciate that too, of people who, are finally, seeing, KMC First Four, because I didn't hear about it at all until the end of December last year. So that's kind of what this platform is, to kind of introduce and open that doorway for those to come in. And if you want to make those changes, impacts, we're open arms, and we're all for improving each other. And in order to kind of catch everything that we're doing today, make sure you follow our Facebook page, KMC First Four. We're available on Spotify and Apple and YouTube. So far, leave your suggestions if you want to see other platforms that do podcasts. If you leave those suggestions, we can take a look at them, and we'll get right on it. I think it's pretty simple from the research we've been doing, but I really do appreciate you and your team, and I think you have a great team with you. I mean, your VP on point. She's very smart, and I do believe she's an expert in professional development. She has that experience. So, and your secretary, I mean, we talked about this plenty of times before. She out here typing away, man. Like, at every meeting, she's just typing on her laptop. She's capturing every bit of notes. Yeah, she's going hard, man. Whole
time.
Like I said, she was in a courtroom, she would capture the whole case right there. And then your treasurer, he's doing a great job too. I know he's put on some recognizable events, such as the mental health awareness that we talked about on last episode.
Yep.
And then the Ukraine drive, 4,000 items and climbing. It's probably reached 5,000 by now, honestly. But he's doing a good job at that. And I think the KMC First Four, what it is as of now, is a perfect representation of what airmen should strive for. Developing those leadership skills, getting them ready for the next position that they desire, and that's NCO. Because as you go up, you're going to want to have those leadership skills developed already. Because if you're trying to develop them when you become an NCO, then you might kind of struggle at first because it'll be new. Always act into that next rank that you're wanting. So quick little segment, music. You love music?
Yes.
I love music too.
Yeah.
You said you like Biggie.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
There's something that I kind of want to do as a host, is just give a little gift to the guest. Sorry that I didn't do a little bit more research, but you're kind of limited on Facebook.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you just a little collectible item. This is Life After Death. This is a
classic.
CD. Yeah.
Okay.
So there it is right there.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
I hope you enjoy that, man.
I should take it back and go like buy a CD player. Honestly. Yeah. With the headphones and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just thought it was a cool little thing. I actually bought this a while back. I was like, hey, I never know what I would use this for, but I collect records, so I wanted to pass that down to you, and I hope you enjoy your gift. Let's segue into the closing remarks. Do you have any closing remarks for this?
So I will say, big shout out to my team. I would not be here without y'all. Y'all have taught me so much so far. I know we're still, we're trucking it out till December, but big shout out to my team.
Yeah.
From myself and across. I'm not gonna say down below just because I feel like we're all on the same page. But
for sure,
you're a part of that
the
team,
peers.
and I appreciate you too as well. So big shout out to them. Everybody's a go-getter. Everybody's really putting in that work, and I love to see the growth, honestly. And then also, I want to take a second to say, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Notice the signs. It doesn't hurt to talk to somebody. Don't bottle up those feelings or anything like that. And if you ever see me around base, like, feel free to have a conversation with me. I'm very approachable, even though I usually am like on go all the time. But I'm still very approachable. I always have time to talk to people. So,
like right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's pretty much it. Stay involved with us. We do have some open positions if you're looking for an opportunity to lead. So just hit us up on Facebook, ask about it, and then we'll get you taken care of. But that's pretty much it from me.
Well, appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on the
100%.
show. It was a pleasure. And like I said, I'll say it a million times more. You and your team are doing great. Keep doing proactive private org that you have going here. And I know that's not easy to do. So
it's only up from here.
Yep. So listeners, I know I'm calling you to action, but leave your suggestions and leave some questions. There's always ways that we can improve the podcast. You can provide us segments that we can ask the future guests, whether that be eating hot wings, like the hot wing style, where we interview while eating hot wings on levels 1 through 10. That would be kind of fun.
I know a treasurer for that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know. Leave a comment. So our next guest, if you're wanting to leave a question for our next guest, the topics will revolve around starting a business. Now, he specifically has a clothing brand. So if you're kind of interested in starting a business here, especially overseas in Germany, he's the guy you can ask some questions. He can probably get you to step one faster, instead of taking a bunch of trial and errors. And then he has a healthy lifestyle, so his gym schedule is pretty consistent. He makes time for it. So if you're kind of struggling how to get started or struggling on how to keep it consistent, then send in your questions. Also send in who you want to see next as a guest. We've discussed previously that we have already guests lined up all the way to mid-June, but there are spots open. So if you just leave their names in the comments, we'll reach out to them and invite them over. And then, it'll be pretty fun. We're just trying to get everybody on this podcast, share their opinions, voice themselves, share their strengths, stuff that they can teach others. And then, we're just looking for a good time here. And one thing I'm glad I remembered, I'm going to announce it, and this would be the first time you're hearing it, but me and my wife are expecting.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, she's 5 weeks in, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I just announced that out of nowhere, but like I wanted to say that on the first episode, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, in due time, we'll figure out what's in store for us. She's giving me the side eye, the bombastic side eye right now. But okay. Well, thank you for tuning in to episode 2. Oh, 6 weeks. That's what she meant. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of After Duty Hours. We'll see you next time. Thank you.